On senior day, the Yukon women's hockey team took on BU for their regular season finale. The Yukon Huskies are hoping to win against a top conference contender. Today at the Conover Auditorium, 3 journalists shared their experiences covering the 1980s civil wars in Central America. At the dining hall, students may get grains, poultry, or vegetables. But what about bugs? Here at the Rome Commons tonight, the Yukon Dining Hall hosted a bug feast where 100 students gathered to dine on edible insects. While many Americans may be on vacation this Memorial Day, the town of North Brunswick shows what this holiday is really about, to honor the nation's veterans. Today at the Conover Auditorium, 3 journalists shared their experiences covering the 1980s civil wars in Central America.
Maybe we could avoid the same kind of tragedy if we did our job reporting the real stories on the ground as the Salvadoran people or the Nicaraguans were experiencing.
Guests saw their panelists dive deep into the dangers of reporting their stories in unfamiliar places.
As an aspiring journalist and travel journalist, I thought it'd be really interesting hearing about what they went through and their trials and tribulations covering something so dangerous in Central America.
One of the pieces I read recently was by John Lee Anderson in the New Yorker this past summer, which was just the most cogent, concise summary of Nicaragua's history in the last 100 years that I think exists.
Robert Nicholsberg said he had to follow strict guidelines with the Army unit that protected him while he took pictures on the field.
Remember, I'm not a trained soldier or Marine, and they know that. I'm a liability. So I have to turn that around and become an asset in a way, or neutralize my liability status for them to feel comfortable with me being there.
Today, overseas reporting can be expensive, but it's often necessary to get the story right.
But there's something to be said and admired for doing your own physical reporting in a dangerous location and risking your life to tell the true stories of the people there.
These journalists on the ground reporting gave us a window into a world we wouldn't normally see and a realistic perspective on war conditions. Tama Moni, UCTV News. At the dining hall, students may get grains, poultry, or vegetables. But what about bugs? Here at the Rome Commons tonight, the Yukon Dining Hall hosted a bug feast where 100 students gathered to dine on edible insects. Yukon chefs added crickets, mealworms, and grasshoppers to each of the 4 main dishes, including a dessert.
And the ones that are being used mostly here in North America are things like mealworms and crickets, just because they're easy to produce, and that's a key in terms of being able to mass produce them for human consumption.
This dinner showed students how eating insects could be an alternative to protein and sustainable for the environment.
There were some, beef and pork there when it was thought it was, if the initiative was to push sustainable protein sources, I thought it was a little backwards to be putting it in a burger. But still, everything was very good, very high quality.
My favorite dish was the beef sliders. I don't eat beef because it wastes a ton of energy and space and land and water. So I was really excited for this opportunity to eat something that tastes very similar in a way that's very sustainable.
Professor Legrand said that researching the types of insects humans can eat are important in learning how to harvest them.
And what gets eaten really is based on the flavor and obviously the safety, the long-term experience that humans have had knowing that certain insects are safe to eat.
Eating insects can be a sustainable way to get protein from your diet, and they can be tasty too. Reporting for UCTV News, I'm Tama Moni. On senior day, the Yukon women's hockey team took on BU for their regular season finale.
They bought into our program when maybe it was just a vision of what it could be. They took my word for it, of the vision of where we wanted to be, and they really lived it, and really they're going to graduate as the winningest senior class in the last 9 years.
The Yukon Huskies are hoping to win against a top conference contender. In the first period, the Huskies kept their defense pretty strong against a tough Boston University team, leading the Terriers 5-4 on shots on goal, but the Terriers offense pushed through with a goal by number 27, Nara Elia, with 8 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the first period. Yukon kept it a close matchup with multiple big saves by number 24, Morgan Fisher. The Terriers dominated the second period with stronger defense and puck possession advantage. Yukon struggled to keep up the pace, having to play much of the period back and forth. Yukon had their chances on goal, but BU was able to keep the Huskies scoreless with tough defense. Boston wasn't done yet. With just under a minute left to play, the Terriers were able to push one more past the Huskies to make it a 3-0 game. Yukon struggled to get back in this last period of the game. Multiple missed connections in their fast breaks could not break through. The Huskies defense had some good saves in the first half, but BU kept their defense on par with Yukon. The Huskies tried another attempt to score. Yukon finished its regular season with a 3-1 loss to BU.
We learned a lot from this game. No matter if we end up playing them again, that we know we can beat them. And again, no matter who it is, we're going to go into the game with the right mindset. We're going to get a good week of practice in, and we'll go from there.
The Huskies finished the season 14-16-4. They will move on into the Hockey East tournament pending results of the remaining conference games. From Frida's Ice Forum, I'm Tama Moni, UCTV Sports. A New Haven teen is in critical condition after getting shot over the weekend. Police said a 17-year-old was shot in the pelvis around 1 p.m. near Rock Street and was taken by ambulance to the Yale New Haven Hospital. WTNH reports there was no word on arrests and police are asking for the public's help. A man accused of shooting another man in West Hartford during an argument was arrested Monday. Officers responded to a report around noon that two men were arguing near Prospect Avenue and West Beacon Street. Callers reported that one man had an axe and the other had a gun. Investigators identified the suspect as 35-year-old Daniel Davis of West Hartford. He was arrested on Laurel Street in Hartford and held on a $500,000 bond. Over the weekend, 21-year-old Antoine McDonald went viral in his bunny costume, breaking up a fight in downtown Orlando. At first, he was hailed a hero. Now that his identity is out, police want him to speak to him. McDonald is wanted in New Jersey for failure to appear and is a person of interest in a carjacking and 2 armed robberies in Florida. McDonald has been arrested in the past for different robberies.